and welcome to my channel. My name is Angelina and today I'm going to be doing an unhaul because it is the end of the year and I need to clear out some space on my shelves. Just so you know, all of these books that I'm going to be showing in this video will be linked on my Pango's books, which you can find the link to in the description. But yeah, I am going to be selling all of these books, and if nobody buys them, I'm just going to donate them. So yes, that is what we are doing here. So let's just get straight into the books. So the first couple of books I showed in my book haul because I need to haul them, but then when I read them, I want to get rid of them. So the first one is A Shot in the Dark by Victoria Lee. This is one I gave 3 stars to. It was fine. It is a queer romance that deals with like heavier topics related to like alcohol and drug abuse, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. This one just never really connected with me. It was a good, solid book, but not one that I necessarily feel like I need to have in my collection. So this one will be going. Same with The Warden by Daniel M. Ford. This is one that I believe I gave 2 stars to. It's supposed to be like a Dungeons and Dragons type of fantasy story, and when I had picked this one up, I didn't actually know it was the start of a series. I thought it was just like a standalone book, but yeah, this one was just like very dense, kind of like just a slog to get through, and I just don't care to have it on my shelves. It's not one that I really enjoyed. Same with 50 Beasts to Break Your Heart. This is a collection of like short, fantastical stories. Some of them are queer, and there are some in this collection that I really enjoyed. However, overall, this collection as a whole did not work for me, and I didn't really care to really keep this one on my shelves. It just not my favorite of collections. I'm also getting rid of Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. I never got into the Throne of Glass series. I read the first book in middle school, didn't really care for it, and then when I was older, I decided to pick up books 2 and 3 in the series, and they were just middle of the road 3-star books. They never kept my interest. I've still never finished the series, and I don't really care to. So yeah, I am getting rid of this book. Megumi and Tsugumi Volume 1. This is a boys love manga that my friend recommended to me. I did not know when she recommended it to me that it was a alpha omega type story, and those types of stories just don't work for me personally, and that's what this was. It's a bit of a bully romance. I didn't care for it all. Just definitely not my thing, so I'm going to be getting rid of it. I Kissed Shara Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. This one is so sad because I love Casey McQuiston's adult novels. However, this one, which is their first YA story, it didn't work for me at all. I didn't like it at all. I have this really pretty Barnes & Noble's edition of it, but I couldn't do it. It just really did not work for me. And I did keep this on my shelf for like a while just because I love this author. I think this book is really pretty, but it is time for me to let it go because I just don't have fond memories of reading this. Once and Future Witches is one that I gave 3 stars. It was fine. It was nothing really special. I never really think about this book, so for that reason, I am letting it go. Goliath is one that I ended up DNFing because of the writing style. I just could not get into it, so hopefully someone else will pick up this book and enjoy it more than me, because I do like the entire like premise of this story. So I was excited to read it, but I just could not deal with like the writing style and sort of like, yeah, just how it was written. I couldn't do it, so this one is leaving. The Cheat Sheet is another one that I DNF'd. I enjoyed another book by this author. I believe I have 2 other books by this author. Yeah. And I really enjoyed those books. This one, however, I hated it. There's a lot of girl hate in this book and a lot of I'm better than you type of stuff going on, and it was just really uncomfortable to read. And yeah, I just did not care for this. And I DNF'd it, so there's no reason for me to keep this one on my shelves. 8 Weeks in Paris. This is a male-male romance that I was really excited to read. It takes place in Paris. They're like on a movie shoot. However, this is another one where the writing just really didn't work for me, and so I DNF'd it. So it will be leaving. Things We Hide from the Light is a romance book that I have seen everywhere on the internet, everyone talking about it. I did not know that this was the second in the series, although I don't think you really need to read the first one in order to read this. I did DNF it, but I will say I did get like 100 pages into this. But cop romances with like a speculative mystery element, just like the entire plot of this just really didn't work for me. I did like the writing. I would consider reading something else from this author, but this book and like the series as a whole just is not something that is really to my taste, so I am getting rid of it. Greek Lessons is another one that I'm very sad to be getting rid of because I loved this author's previous book, The Vegetarian. It's one of my all-time favorite books, and this is their newest one. But this just didn't work for me. I didn't really get the point of it or what it was trying to do. And just like as a story overall, like if I was basing it on vibes, it was just very boring. So this was a very big disappointment. Like I really tried to understand this book as a whole, but I didn't get it, which is so sad. And I will be getting rid of it. Then we have The Silent Patient, which is a thriller book, I believe, mystery, that sort of vibe. This is one I believe I gave 4 stars to. I did really enjoy it. However, mystery thriller books aren't books that I ever see myself revisiting or recommending or really caring about. I sort of just read them and that's it. And so even though I did really like this one, I just don't have much of a point to keep it on my shelves. An Anonymous Girl is a similar type of thing. I gave this one 3 stars. This one is one that I do have fond memories of reading. I read this in high school and I like have vivid memories of like reading this in the middle of class, which is why I've hung on to it for so long. However, I don't really need to keep this. It was a middle of the road book. And again, I'm never going to recommend it or really think about it, so I don't really need it on my shelves. Bombshell Break is one that I am also very sad to be getting rid of. This is the second in the series, and I did not know that there was going to be a sequel, but the first one is None Shall Break, and that book I absolutely loved. I thought it was a really fun YA sort of like suspense thriller type story. And when I saw that they were coming out with a second one, I was skeptical but hopeful, but this just really didn't work for me. I really disliked it. There was really no reason for there to be a sequel to the series. Like, it could have just stayed a standalone. But yeah, very sad because I love like the pink color of this cover, but I really don't need it in my collection. And then lastly, we have Heir of Fire. This again is part of the Throne of Glass series that I just don't care to keep on my shelves. So it is leaving. But yeah, very sad because I'm such a fan of the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and I feel like there's so much hype around the Throne of Glass series, but I just could never get into it, which is sad, but it is what it is. If you notice that my background has changed again, it's because I now have 4 tall bookshelves in this room instead of just 3 and 2 small shelves. So yeah, that is exciting. I have a lot more shelf space now, although I am going on a book buying ban for the new year. But yeah, it is nice to have a lot more space and to see a lot more books on my shelves that I really loved. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, comment whatever you feel like commenting, and again, don't forget to check out my Pango's Books bookstore if you are interested in any of these titles. But I will see you all in the next video. Bye!